Welcome. We're going to learn about the second new feature in AutoCAD MEP 2013 Content Builder. We have added symbol planes for front and side views. In the past, you could add a top symbol plane for valves on MB parts, and to do so, you've got to have your connectors added, and this symbol and annotation plane is available, and then you can right-click on top symbol plane and make it visible. So that becomes visible up there, and you can draw a parametric 2D top symbol, like a bow tie symbol for a valve. And you would draw it on this plane. You can draw a parametric, or you can add parametric graphics or a pre-designed 2D block if that's what you want. You can add blocks, AutoCAD blocks. Here you can add geometry, just very similar to how we would sketch out geometry to make the parametric part. We could do the same and make a parametric symbol block for this thing. The new feature, however, is this is all old. It's been in there for a while now. Now you can add a left and right-click and make it visible, and right-click and say add a front symbol, and then right-click down here and make it visible. So now, when you're looking, if you draw a symbol here and draw a parametric symbol there, we go to the front plane. When your piping's connected into your valve and it's using the pipe by size feature, in a elevation or a section view, this side profile, this symbol block, can be used in lieu of the 3D body. Likewise, if you're looking at it in a section view, you can also use the schematic symbol from the front or the side. And since it's a 2D symbol, you only need the front or side. You don't need the left and right. You just need a left symbol block to represent the left side of your symbol and a 2D block of that symbol and a right. So you get these three planes basically now for your top.
The top and side symbol planes work exactly the same. So let's go ahead and use the top symbol plane to demonstrate how to use this feature.
You can trace over this thing with your line work and make a symbol. I'm going to go ahead and draw some of this since it's really not too bad. So you can right-click on parametric graphics and say add geometry. Come down here and use projected geometry. So if I come down here and I want to project this circle upwards, I can select on this solid. It's not really an AutoCAD solid, actually. I probably should not use that word. But you can see that it's going to either project the left or the right edge of that round cylinder. So I continue doing that. Project the geometry. Oh, I bumped my mouse. So I'm going to select this. Now we'll come up here and we'll add the right. And then we're going to come down, continue. So now we'll get the inside edge. Just like that. And that guy might not show up here. He doesn't. So we're going to have to find the center of that and draw a circle. That's okay. And this guy, we may get the same thing where he doesn't show up there. I don't think circles, the ends of circles show up. We can definitely get these cylinders for now, and then what we can do is go point reference, and we'll have to turn on the center point of this thing with working plane. So what we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to hide some of this in order to get that central point, but I think I can grab it right there. Point reference, and we'll grab this center point up here. Good. So it grabbed that center point right there. From there we can draw a circle outwards and make that circle equal to I don't know what that dimension is, but something like that. And then what we'll do is we'll continue real quickly to grab the other reference geometry. There's the left, there's the right. Okay. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch this together. Now that we got those reference geometry, you can say draw a line from there to there. I think we've already got a line between them. From there to this guy. From there to this guy. And really, what I can do is we've got this circle. Let's finish off the other half real quick. From there to this guy. Here to there. There to there. And we'll need to dimension that circle. What we want to do is add geometry. We want to add a point. We'll add the point here. We'll add one more point. There. Here. And you'll see where I'm going with this here in just a moment. Here. Okay. So now what I want to do is right click on this. add a constraint. I want to make that point coincident with this line, and then I want to make that point coincident with that circle. Okay. 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 I think my circle is no longer centered on that guy. So let's do that. There we go. Solve for all those. And now we just need to probably draw a line between him and him. I'm not sure that we want this geometry to show up inside the symbol itself. We'll go from there to there. Repeat line from here to here. Come over here. Repeat it from there to there. Repeat it from here to there. And then you may be wondering, well, how do you make these lines tell it which ones are which? What we'll do is we'll come down here. There's one of them. We'll make it invisible. Okay. And points, we can make them invisible too. We don't care about the points at the ends, we just don't want the points to show up in the middle. That's the middle guy. He may not hurt to leave there in case we want something to snap to it. But this guy, probably that guy. Alright, that's almost all the points. Where's the other one? There we are. Okay. Now we've got the center point on there as well. If we look at this from the top side, let's hide all the other stuff. Rotate that. That's kind of what our final symbol, at least the line work itself, will look like. Probably want to add something now that I can see what our final symbol is looking like. Let's draw in that line and draw in a line there for the flanges. That doesn't look like too bad of a symbol, and we might want that little center valve on there. I don't know. what we want to do is probably take that, add a constraint, and say he's going to be concentric. At that point right there. All right. So there's our top symbol. We'll turn back our modifiers on. So that you can see really where I'm going with all this. So you can see now how all that turned out. Turned out pretty good. And it fits right in there. Now all I got to do is say, okay, this body D1 equal 8. I want him to be the same diameter as my real body. So we might go in here to the model parameters. Where did he go? Is that it? There we go. We'll say he's equal to and that snapped him right down to be the same size as that. And I don't exactly remember what this one was, but which dimension he was. Did we dimension that guy? We may not have dimensioned him. Okay. Okay. So he's now the same diameter as the cap. Alright, so that's kind of how you make a parametric um, top plane symbol. These were all reference points referring to the geometry from the 3D body that we made. So they're going to move and adjust all entirely based upon the geometry that it finds down below, down here. The circles, though, since we can't project those up off of the cylinder, we just drew in the circles and then made their diameters the same. So now we have ourselves a top symbol. We can go and insert this into a part, or insert this into our model and use it. So that's how we did it on the top plane. We have the new features that are the left and front planes. You would use essentially the same exact method to project this geometry onto those planes and constrain it. And now you have yourself a new valve that you can use in a section view. There is one other thing that I left out. Don't forget to come up into your part options, turn off your hide part flag, turn on your custom sizing flag. Might want to make this migratable. This part actually breaks into piping, so I turn that on. I set the layer key, and this is the thing that's somewhat pertinent. Display symbol in plan view. It basically tells it, hey, I do have a top symbol that I would like to use, so I'm going to turn that on. This also enables it for the sides as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this part. Let's look at the reason it failed. connection domains, I know exactly what that is. So, if you ever get that error message, just go into your connectors, say edit, tell it what type of connector it is. Just wants to know what this domain is. Pipe. And I added an air and dirt leg connectors on there too. Save. Successful validation, yes. We can close this, and since we've built it, we may as well add it into a drawing. And here's our part. You can see that this is a top view symbol. You can tell it's a top view symbol. It's a 2D symbol. We orbit around it. As we start to orbit, you notice that the symbol down below the connectors, it's a 2D symbol. If we let up on the orbit and exit, you'll notice it pops into to become a 3D body. So if we now orbit again, here's our 3D body with the connectors on it. And go back to plan view. It goes back to being a top view symbol. Now, I have not created any side view symbols yet, but if we were to go to a side view or cut a where's my tool palette? If we were to cut an elevation or a section, then and here's the section mark tools, then we would see a symbol in this view if I had drawn one. That's it. Thank you very much.